All right, so it's my pleasure today to be joined by Jeff Scott, the chairman of the AED Foundation. And Jeff, we want to talk a little bit about the foundation, but in particular, Vision 2025. And so you've been pretty passionate about Vision 2025. Why is that?
Well, first off, Brian, I just want to, as the chairman of the AED Foundation, just broadcast out to our membership and our investors how proud I am to be the chair of our foundation at this point in time because of Vision 2025. As we all know, it's a very ambitious goal, but a very needed set of metrics and goals that we need in our industry. And I'm just going to state them, if I may, and we can talk and walk through them. Vision 2025, the foundation is aiming to do the following: 100 accredited college programs across the country and Canada, 150 recognized high school programs, 10,000 skilled technicians entering the workforce over this period of time, 500 certified managers, 10,000 certified tests administered, and really for us to get 5,000 certified AED technicians in our workforces working in our dealership. So lofty. The good news is we set this goal as a benchmark and certainly put it out to 2025. So we're a couple years into that. I believe we've accomplished a percentage of this, but we have much more work to go, and look forward to involving certainly our investors and membership of AED to help us get there.
And so, Jeff, tell us a little bit about the difference between giving to the annual campaign and giving to Vision 2025.
The distinction is pretty easy, Brian. We need both, and I think that for us as members, I always like to think that as AED members, we get a set of values through our dues, and certainly through the foundation on an annual basis. We have an annual campaign that each of us donates to, and I like to differentiate the two versus membership in AED and investor on an annual basis into the foundation. The big difference there is that that's going to go for ongoing operations. We've set out the very ambitious capital campaign, which is a longer term campaign to reach these goals that we've set in Vision 2025. And that is a different set where we've gone out to you again as investors, but a longer term, larger commitment to the AED Foundation. And this doesn't take place of your ability to donate to the annual campaign, but certainly to help us fund these longer term goals of the foundation going forward under Vision 2025 banner.
Jeff, the campaign has been in what they call the friends and family stage, and is about to go to the broader AED audience. But tell me a little bit about, you've made some phone calls to people asking them to contribute to Vision 2025 on top of their annual contribution. How have those phone calls been received? And generally, what's been the reception?
Well, first off, this is a work in progress. This didn't happen in a vacuum. AED staff and foundation staff, in conjunction with a professional fundraising consultant, has been working on this campaign for really almost 2 years. And like behind the scenes in many campaigns, I'm very, very proud of our membership in our industry, because we have a large amount of key players who have already, and this is, by the way, is not only distributor members, but suppliers and manufacturers who have pledged and committed funds to this ongoing campaign. So easy answer to your question, that is going out to our membership and asking them via phone calls and a lot of Zoom over these last couple of years. Is we talk a lot about what we need in this industry, and we know we need improvement of our workforce. We know we need skilled labor. We know we need to go into the high schools and promote our industry. We know we need more certified schools. We know we need all these various testing capabilities. But to do so, at the level and the size and breadth of what we think we want in Vision 2025, we actually need to fund that. And so those calls are on and beyond this annual idea of helping fund our regular annual curriculum, but these longer term stretch goals. So I have an easy answer to that. Again, Brian, wow, these calls, every single call we go in on, be it supplier member, again, manufacturer member or distributor member, they understand that, and they're very willing to contribute what they can in this capital campaign to achieve these goals. So I'm happy to report that we're doing well so far, and we're excited to extend this out to all of the membership of AED this fall and allow them the opportunity to invest and participate.
Now, Jeff, I know that as of today, and this number thankfully changes, every time we talk, it's just a little over 3.6 million in pledges. And what would you say to the AED member who says, you know what, Jeff, I hear you, and I hear what the foundation does, but you know what? I don't have a school in my backyard. I don't have access to a accredited high school. Why would I give to this campaign?
Well, that's an easy answer again. So I would encourage him to give to the campaign, and we as a foundation, we will help you through the staff that we will deploy through your investment to go out into your marketplace, raise the level of awareness at your high school technical levels. We will help you go out, identify those colleges and technical schools that can become accredited AED programs and produce those workforce people that you need in your distributorships and dealerships today. So easy answer. You bring on the money. We'll make it rain, and we'll bring forth the effort to get more involvement in your local marketplace.
So, Jeff, I think you bring up a good distinction between Vision 2025 and a lot of other what is often called capital campaigns, because the foundation's actually raising this money to spend it. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, and I have an easy answer. Again, I love this interview because all my answers are productive, and they're taking place. We're investing that money now as it comes in. Again, we have a campaign to go out and audit existing accredited programs. We have new staff members that are going out, identifying the high school programs and the potential accredited programs, and going to work on those now. So that is an ongoing process. And as any of the donations on the capital campaign come in, we will put those dollars right to work, the benefit of the foundation and the goals that we have in Vision 2025.
And so roughly, the hope is to raise between $5 and $7 million with this effort. And if I remember correctly, the bulk of that goes to support the accreditation program, with another slice of it going for the workforce coordinators that you were mentioning about, the folks that will go out, be the boots on the ground. And then a little bit into the endowment to keep things going in perpetuity on this program. What would you tell somebody who says, hey, you know what? I'm just having a heck of a time accessing my schools, or I don't know where to begin. So how do I do this?
Okay, now another easy answer. I would encourage that member to get a hold of this document, which was just produced by the foundation. And this is research which outlines and identifies the needs we have in our industry. This is a lot of work and effort gone into this particular document, which is called Addressing the Technician Shortage Through Secondary Education. So I would encourage anyone to get this. You can email anybody at AED and or the foundation. And this document will go through the process by which it will help you be able to go out and identify those programs. It'll certainly connect you with the staff with AED Foundation to help you go out. And I will put a big press and a push here. beyond our ability to go out and accredit these technical institutions, primarily community colleges, an identification through our many workforce committees is that we have to raise the level of awareness and attraction to our industry at the high school level. And high school level, there are tech programs usually from the district-wide level. And in any of these cases, if you read this particular document or reach out to an AED Foundation member, they can help you identify those schools in your area, mainly, again, high school programs, district programs that have tech programs, and help you get in to begin that, incubate the idea of our industry, diesel techs, sophistication that usually then feed into those community college and tech programs.
Jeff, I want to shift gears a little bit because you brought up a good point as we kind of leave Vision 2025 for just a moment. But the foundation does research and funds research projects. And one of the projects that I believe was released at the summit in Vegas was a report on diversity and inclusiveness in the industry. And that's kind of been a passion of yours as chairman. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm easy. We live in this century, in this time where, again, our industry has need for skilled, primarily technicians and other people to enter our industry to move their way up into managerial positions, running dealerships, and certainly in our industry, the ability to acquire dealerships and become distributors. So I think I'm again, an easy question and an answer to a question is that we have a workforce out there, and we would like to be able to diversify that. So bringing on those people that have an attraction to our industry, and I firmly believe in doing so, then we will diversify that group of employees and skilled workers that come into our, and by just natural progress, it will give us a much larger footprint of representation of what our society is today. And that includes male, female, ethnicity, other minority groups that may be underrepresented in our industry. So I think it's a natural progression. So yes, it's a passion of me as chair and certainly as our foundation. And we brought on that task on behalf of AED because we think that by doing so, in diversifying, it's a workforce issue, and that by attracting people to our industry, it'll improve our inclusion and diversity going forward as an industry.
A lot of folks don't realize that the foundation has a lot of incumbent worker training that's not necessarily geared towards technicians, but parts and service and sales, and just aren't aware of the soft skills that the foundation offers training on. Tell me a little bit about what you would tell a dealer who maybe hasn't enrolled their employees in those programs, and why it's probably something they should take a look at.
Well, absolutely. I think we're talking a lot about our correlation between AED membership and certainly the foundation. And I think we've done a good job in remarketing the foundation. It is a distinct and separate organization from AED, but it is an adjunct to AED. And along with a lot of what we've just talked about in this longer term plan of developing technicians and workforce improvement in our industry, we have an ongoing education training curriculum that this is important for everyone to hear. This is all AED specific. This is developed and written by us and by you to help develop curriculum around parts managers, service managers, dealership managers. Not only do we have a very robust under the foundation an online program, we also sponsor, along with AED, many managerial conferences, small business owner conferences, future youth leadership conferences, and all these really tie into the ongoing education that we want to improve at the dealership level, so that we're competitive in the industry today. So I encourage everyone to get online to the AED Foundation site or connect with their regional manager so they have access to all of these wonderful education programs.
Jeff, if somebody wants to become involved with the foundation board, what does that involve, and how do they do that?
You know, another good question, Brian. You know, I get asked this a lot, or I try to teach my kids that, you know, you need to give back, whether it's the school that you're in, your post-secondary alumni, or certainly your community. In this case, it's us, it's our industry, it's our bread and butter. And there are a lot of ways to give. Yes, we do encourage investment financially into the foundation and the various programs we've talked about. But there's another wonderful way to give back and give, and that is through your involvement. So we would ask that you know, almost ask anyone and or look at in your planning that you become part of the foundation. We have some subcommittees within the foundation. We'd be more than happy to utilize your expertise to drive some of our initiatives and certainly get your good ideas and move them forward. And then if you want to take it a further step, we have a foundation board that's quite robust. It includes members, it includes suppliers, and our manufacturer partners. And I think this is, anytime you have an opportunity to be at that level, you have a much better idea of what we do. It's a two-way street, as I mentioned. We need your input, we need your ideas, and we need you as AED affiliates and members to drive our foundation forward. So if you have anybody has any interest along those lines, same idea. You know, please let anybody at AED know, let your regional manager know, and feel free to contact me or any AED Foundation board member, and we'll let you know what that requires. And we'd love to receive your information and put you up for nomination for the board.
Great. Now, you brought up service, and before we go, so you also are involved with service outside of this industry, and you hold a pretty prestigious title in Salt Lake City there. Tell us a little about your honorary consulate duties.
Well, that's interesting, Brian. I have a bit of a global background, and this I serve here in the state of Utah as the Honorary Consul for the Republic of Latvia, and it's a bit of an honorary title, but it's my give back to the global community within which we live, and it stems back to my involvement in the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City of 2002, at which time is my kids' school adopted the Republic of Latvia, and subsequently since then I've had a 20-year involvement with a wonderful Baltic country of Latvia, and it's been a joy and an honor to serve in that capacity, and all the way down to the equipment world. And when I've taken trips there, I've looked at distributorships there from the international level, and been involved in some used equipment going back and forth. So anybody wants to know a little bit more about the Republic of Latvia or the Baltics, which right now is a very volatile part of the world, feel free to contact me on that, and I'll give you my proud relationship with Latvia. But thanks for asking.
No, you bet. One follow-up question there, Jeff. Now, although it's called an honorary designation, you actually have some official duties in this role.
Oh, I do.
I don't want our viewers to think it's all pomp and circumstance and that, but as an honorary consulate, you actually go through some training and have some responsibilities as part of the foreign leadership, rather representation of this smaller country. Tell us a little bit about what some of the things that you're asked to do.
We actually do. So as an honorary consul, we're really here in Utah, and quite frankly, it's the Intermountain West. I serve over Idaho and Wyoming. Is any Latvian, basically national, if they're in our country and in my area, and they have anything to do with their citizenship, and that could be anything from granting a longer-term visa to losing their passport, classifications along those lines. I serve as the local representative for any of those diplomatic ties, and judicial, by the way. If somebody got in trouble, and I'm able to give them their legal rights. And I serve really at the whim of the Latvian embassy in Washington, D.C. So a part of that is true diplomatic consular type of activities. Secondarily, is really to promote Latvia. And there's a big chunk of that, not only in the diplomatic world as far as where they sit and where they stand as a member of NATO and the EU, but a lot of economic development. We've got kind of a two-way street, promoting some of the products and services from the state of Utah into the Baltics, and certainly from Latvia into the Intermountain West. And there's a lot of interesting little companies. There's a lot of high tech. There's a lot of energy kind of companies. So a lot of that ends up being who I develop on the economic development side. And then lastly, it's some shared activities. You know, we've had some students come from our universities here over to Latvia and vice versa, and really just improving on the global world that we live in and exchanging ideas and cultural nuances. So it's been fun. And I will note, since we're talking about the equipment industry, we have another honorary consul here in Utah who's a former AED president, and that's Paul Campbell. Paul Campbell serves as an honorary consul for Canada, and another equipment dealer. He's very involved in all the things that I just mentioned, aforementioned. And I will say, in a much larger universe of a much bigger country, little Latvia of a whopping 2 million. But it's been fun, and yes, it rounds out a lot of what I do, you know, professionally and in work, and certainly in community service. And it's a way for me to be involved in the global community. So it's been fun.
Well, great. Well, again, I want to thank my guest, Jeff Scott, who's currently serving as the chairman of the AED Foundation, for joining us. And we look forward to all of you tuning into future editions of AED Insight. Thank you.